Hello, my name's Allison Bennett, and for this second book review, I read Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. And this book was published in 1852, which is 13 years before the abolition of slavery and before the Civil War took place. So Uncle Tom's Cabin is a fictional story about a good-hearted slave who is sold by his master that he is so close to. He's raised him since he was a little baby. He is sold by this person to cover some household debts. And he says, like, oh, I'm going to try and get you back as soon as I can. So Tom gets sold. He has to leave his family. He has to leave everything that he's known. And he goes with a slave trader down south, where he is bought by another family. They're pretty nice. He really bonds with the little girl. He teaches her all about Christianity, and she's just like a wholesome character. He also bonds with the father. They both see slaves as people, and they feel for their plight. And he almost convinces the father to give him his freedom, but before he can, the husband, father, master ends up dying, and he's left to the whim of his wife, who is not an abolitionist. She's pro-slavery, and so she sells all of her slaves because she thinks that they're worthless. And Tom gets placed with a new master who is not nice, and he eventually ends up beating Tom to death before his original family could ever come looking for him. It's a very tragic story. I really enjoyed the book. The plot is really riveting. It's a page turner for sure. All of the characters are really likable. Like, all of the slaves in the story are very likable. They really make you empathize with them. But more shocking than that to me was how likable all of the white people are in this story. Not all of them. There are some people who are meant to play the role of that part of society who is just pro-slavery, no ifs, ands, or buts. This is the way it should be, and this is how we want it to be. But most of them in this book they know that slavery is wrong, and they know that they know that there's things that are just absolutely not right with it, and they do little things that they feel like saves them from being the monsters that they are, I guess. And that makes, like, they justify their actions in a way that, like, you can kind of justify them too, even in this day and age. So it's shocking to me how likable all of the slave owners are. But Harriet Beecher Stowe, she writes them as if they are also oppressed by this system of slavery, which definitely served a purpose in its time as abolitionist propaganda, so they say. Because Uncle Tom's Cabin was banned in the South for being abolitionist propaganda once upon a time. A lot of people claim that it was a big reason, a big catalyst for starting the Civil War. So interesting. So yeah, all of the white people are really, really likable, which I thought was very interesting. There are so many other aspects of this story to explore, but I haven't even began to, like, really uncover everything that there is. But those are my first impressions. For my lesson plan, what I did was I went and looked at the standards for a couple of different grades. I went, like, 3rd through 6th looking for which grade would be the most appropriate, would fit the topics the best. And then I found the standards that I wanted to use, and then I looked for age-appropriate reading passages about slavery. And then once I found my resources that I wanted to use, I built my discussion questions and my writing prompts around that. So that's just how I created my lesson. That's all I've got. Thank you. Bye.